In 2006, Ford Motors was on the brink of disaster, but by 2009, they had staged a stellar comeback. In 2006, Ford executive team members read a book entitled "A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback," written by Willie Jolley. Comeback King, world-renowned speaker, best-selling author, and media personality.
I want to mention Success Magazine.
Yes.
January issue. They named you Comeback King, which is great.
Yes.
The story behind it is fascinating. It's because of some speeches that you made for Ford Motor Company. Tell us about that.
Ford Motor Company called me during 2006 because Ford was teetering on the brink of disaster. They needed to get 25,000 people to take a buyout, but no one was taking it because it was a fear-based mindset. And so they asked me to come, and I went around the country speaking to Ford employees in the plants. I never told them to take the buyout. I told them about the possibilities for America and their dreams, and many of them were inspired by it, obviously, because 38,000 people took the buyout after that. And then Ford had me come back in 2007 and 2008, do all the internal television programs for the plant workers. We did a program called The Attitude of Excellence, which is now being played around the country still. And then in 2009, they sponsored my radio show. So we first helped them to stabilize their workers, then they helped them to improve their performance, and then helped them sell some cars.
And as our viewers will recall, Ford ended up not taking any of the federal bailout money.
They're the only one who didn't take the bailout. They're the only one who didn't file for bankruptcy. And they had the first billion-dollar profit quarter in 2009.
Wow. Well, that's rather amazing. That's remarkable. Congratulations to you.
Today I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about turning setbacks into comebacks with an attitude of excellence. Turning setbacks, 5 simple steps for 5-star success. Now, one of the folks I helped to do that for is a little company you might have heard of called Ford Motor Company. In 2006, I got a call one day from Ford Motor Company. They had a new CEO. His name was Alan Mulally. Brilliant, brilliant man, who had come in with a great team, and they had a plan that they've developed to turn Ford around, because Ford was struggling. They'd gone from 25% market share to 15% market share. And if they didn't make a change quickly, they were going to be out of business. Alan Mulally started working, but one of the first things he wanted to do was to stabilize the workforce and get the workforce stabilized and changed. So he gave a generous offer to those who had been working there, some of them as long as 50 years, to take a buyout. But not many people were taking it. Imagine that you worked for Ford for all of your life. Your father worked for Ford and your grandfather worked for Ford. They didn't want to take the buyout. After a few months of trying to offer this buyout, one day I got a call from Ford. They said, one of our people in our executive suite read your book, A Setback Setup for a Comeback, and heard that you've helped companies to make comebacks. We'd like you to help us in an effort we're doing. We want you to help us to get this buyout to our people. And I said, I'd be happy to do it. But I said, I don't want to talk to them, though, about taking the buyout. I'd rather talk to them about living their dreams. I'll tell them how I was a nightclub singer who got fired and replaced by a karaoke machine. And how I was broke, busted, and disgusted. But I made up my mind that in America, if you have a dream and you're willing to work hard on that dream, you can live your dreams. They said, we'd be happy to have you share that message. And for 6 weeks, I went around the country every day in a different city, doing sometimes 2 plants a day every day. And the night before Thanksgiving, 2006, I did my last program. Flew home that night on the last thing smoking in Washington, D.C. The next day was Thanksgiving, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was the buyout day. They had to make a decision that Monday. Tuesday, they tabulated the results. And on Wednesday, I got a call first thing in the morning from the Detroit Free Press. They said, Mr. Jolley, we just want to let you know that 38,000 people took the buyout. 25,000 was their goal, but 35,000 took the buyout. They said, what did you tell them? I said, it's about living your dream in America. And that if America, you can turn your setbacks into comebacks. They then had me go and do all the television spots for the internal television message about an attitude of excellence that they would play throughout the plants during the day. And as you all know, in 2009, Ford was the only one of the big three who did not take a government bailout. And in 2010, they've had $2 billion quarters where they've had a profit. What was the secret to turning setbacks into comebacks? The secret was a simple thing that I learned over the years by speaking to high-end organizations, that there are 5 areas that all leading-edge organizations consistently have in their pool of talent. 5 areas. First, leadership development. Developing leaders at every level of the organization, from top to bottom, mid-managers, managers, those who answer the phones. Everywhere you find a leader who's being developed. Number 2 is change management. Seeing that change is not the enemy. Change is an ally. All progress is the result of change. Number 3, team building. Creating world-class teams. If you can think like a team and work like a team, you can win like a team. Number 4, creating wow customer service, where you don't just do good customer service or even really good customer service, but you do wow. You wow your customer. You got to wow your customer. And then a winning attitude. Your attitude definitely determines your altitude. Develop a winning attitude in every part of your life. Because those who have a positive winning attitude win more comebacks. You're looking at a guy who was a nightclub singer who got fired and replaced by a karaoke machine, but who made up his mind that he was going to change his life, started speaking to young people about staying away from drugs. And from there, the teachers would say, can you come to my teachers association? And then someone there would say, could you come to my church? And then someone there would say, can you come to my company? And it continued to grow. And then Les Brown, the great motivational speaker, heard about me and invited me to be on tour with him and his wife at that time, Gladys Knight. And that allowed me to get a radio show, and the radio show got syndicated. And then it allowed me to get on TV with CBS television and PBS. And that allowed me to get a book deal. And the book became a bestseller. And then the second one became a bestseller. And then one day, Toastmasters International called and said, you've been named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world for this year. Former winners include Colin Powell, Norman Schwarzkopf, Nelson Mandela. I said, you sure you got the right person? My name is Willie Jolley. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a dream and you're willing to work hard and pursue excellence, stuff is going to happen, but a setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback. Change is good when your attitude is great, so you must always be working on your attitude. When stuff happens, find a way to see something positive. And last but not least is think up. Make up your mind to win. That's me and Dr. Stephen Covey. We did a tour together in Australia, and he talks about win-win. If you want to win more in life, serve others first. If you serve more, you'll win more. Think up. Make up your mind that it's okay to win. I close with this. One day I was struggling as a new speaker. Had no books, no tapes, no videos, nothing. Someone invited me to speak in Orlando, Florida. I went to give the speech. They gave me a standing ovation and then gave me the check. I looked at the check and I got a thrill. I put the check in my pocket, went on my way to the airport. On the way home, I pulled that check out a second time because I wanted that thrill one more time. But then I realized that money was already allocated. It was gone. Anybody got your check and before you get home, it's gone? Anybody ever been there? I started having a pity party. This gentleman across the aisle struck up a conversation. He must have sensed I was struggling. He said, young man, how old do you think I am? I studied him. Sir, I think you're about 60. He took off his glasses, looked me dead in my eye. He said, young man, I'm 88 years old. I'm 88, and my best is yet to come. In that moment, everything changed, because an 88-year-old man could have the optimism to believe that his best days were in front of him and not behind him. What did I have to whine and cry and complain about? And I went home and I got busy. And I started making sales calls. And if people say no, I'd say next. And they say, I'm not interested. I say, you're not the right one. And 20 years have gone by. I've been inducted in the Speaker Hall of Fame, named one of the top 5 speakers in the world, best-selling books, TV and radio, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. And I came here today to Ted, to all those across the web, to say to you, without a question in my mind, with all the changes and challenges and difficulties we faced as a country, I'm saying to you, without a question in my mind, that our best is yet to come. And your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. God bless you. Thank you so much.